Welcome back, guys. I am here in lovely, beautiful Shenzhen, and we're gonna have a little experiment for you today. Today I'm gonna walk around for 20 or 30 minutes until it gets a little bit too dark as the sun goes down, and we're just gonna look at electric cars. This is not going to be a highly scientific experiment. There's gonna be just me walking around, I fully understand that if we're going to count cars and see what the actual EV car lineup looks like in Shenzhen, probably a better way would be to just set up a camera and let it run all day, or let it run for an hour, or something like that, and do it for same location without moving, something like that. But we can't do it like that, and I don't want to do it like that. As I walk, I'm just going to talk maybe about EV, maybe about China, whatever pops in my mind. And there's also going to be, as you have already probably noticed, a little ticker on the screen counting up. A couple more things as we get going here. The green plates here in Shenzhen, or in China in general, are EV or hybrid cars. This is how they notify you it's an EV. The green plates are cheaper or free. In some cities, license plates, they can go up to 50,000, 60,000 RMB, like Shanghai, Shenzhen, for a regular internal combustion engine automobile license plate. It can cost you 10 or 15,000 US dollars. So for the EV plates, every city's different, but I do believe they're still free in most places. Another thing to note is that, as you can see on the tickers here, I'm only counting Tesla and Xpeng and NIO and Li, and I'm not counting these other brands, which you can see there's tons of. All over. There's this BYD taxi right here. All the taxis are going to be BYD. There's two of these I think it's Trump Chi or Guangqi or something. Guangqi. Okay. There's so many Chinese electric car brands, and I'm not going to be able to differentiate all of them. Another reason why I'm not going to differentiate like BYD and those white cars we just saw is most of those white EVs are going to be like Didi, like Uber, Chinese version of Uber. I think most of those white EVs that operate as Ubers, they are privately owned, or owned by a company. Some, of course, are probably privately owned, and not every white EV is going to be a Uber, but a lot of them will be. If you ever take an Uber, especially here in Shenzhen, it's almost assuredly going to be a white electric vehicle, and a cheap car, not a nice car. So let's keep going over here. I may miss a few cars while I'm counting, but I'm going to try to just, count as accurately as possible when I go back and watch this video. I'm not going to have any cuts in this video. So, actually my camera's a DJI Pocket 2, and this camera, every 5 or 6 minutes, if I just let the video roll, it misses a frame. If anybody knows why, I've searched how to fix it. Some of this model camera have it, some of them don't. So I'm not sure why. If I see any EVs over here parked, I'll also show you. None so far. But yeah, so I'm not cutting anything, but there might be a frame drop every 5 or 6 minutes. See, that's one of those Ubers. Just stand here for a minute, see what passes by. There's a Tesla. So this whole video, I'm not going to just talk about electric cars. It's going to be boring if I do that. But one more thing before I start babbling about other stuff is that the reason I'm making this video actually is because probably the most frequent question I get since I started doing these EV videos is what's the ratio of EVs that you see on the road? I've told people usually it's probably like 100 to 1 of Tesla and BYD to everything else. For the more premium EVs, Teslas are where it's at here in Shenzhen. And then you get a lot of BYDs, whether it's taxis or private cars. There's another Tesla. There's another one of those Ubers. And then some people said like maybe I'm biased towards NIO or some stuff like that because I said there's more NIOs than Shang or more NIOs than Xpeng. But I don't have any horse in this race. I don't care. I don't own any of these cars. I do own some shares of NIO. I've told you guys before, but I'm not going to lie about which one has more cars on the road. So let's keep going. I've mentioned before, probably 100 Teslas for every 5 NIOs. Here in Shenzhen, there's an EV, and maybe for every 5 NIOs, I see 2, maybe 3 Xpeng. And then after that, maybe 1 Li. These don't really see much of. Okay. So let's talk about Shenzhen, huh? Right now I'm in Nanshan District. Nanshan District is where I stay. I like Nanshan District because it's quieter, less people, less traffic. Now it's rush hour, which is why I came out right now. I figure we got a better chance to see cars. However, it is the last day of Chinese New Year, so not everybody's back to work yet. A lot of people are not going to be driving around right now, but it does seem pretty busy, so it's good. So Nanshan District, yeah, the Shenzhen has, a lot of different. There's a Li right there. Shenzhen has a lot of different districts. Maybe not a lot, maybe 5. But I stay in Nanshan District. I know a lot of people probably already know about Shenzhen, but a lot of people also don't. Shenzhen is a tier 1 city in China. The tier list is not official. According to the government, there is no tier list, but every single person in China, every scholar in China, every article about China, everything you read about China will tell you the tier list. So Shenzhen is one of 4 tier 1 cities, and they're basically separated by economic prosperity, size and GDP and all that stuff, rate of development. So Shenzhen, Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou are the tier 1 cities. And then you got a lot of other semi-tier 1 cities or new tier 1 cities. And then you have tier 2, 3, 4, all the way down to tier 88, which is like a meme on Reddit or a meme in China circles. Tier 88. 88 is a lucky number in China. 8s are lucky. But it's really just a crappy middle of nowhere city is a tier 88. Maybe Sichuan might be a tier 88, but it's kind of nice there, so maybe not. So anyway, yeah, so a lot of friends that I have, they've known I've been in China for a long time, but they still don't know like what is Shenzhen, where is Shenzhen. Shenzhen's here on the border with Hong Kong. There's another Li. I've seen 2 Lis now. So okay, cool. Shenzhen's here on the border with Hong Kong, and so that would be the far southeast corner of China. Shenzhen's a very new city. There's not much history here, not much culture. It's a lot of shopping malls. It's a world city. It's a nice place. My shoelace coming undone. But there's not really, it's kind of devoid of anything meaningful besides consumerism. It's a nice place to live though, the weather's good. It's February right now. People are in t-shirts and shorts. Okay, keep going. You know, there's a lot of worse places on earth to live than Shenzhen. I came here for a couple reasons. One is just, there's a lot of opportunities here. Two, I have a lot of connections here. My shoelace undone again. Hold on a second, guys. Just gonna stand here. So I got a lot of connections here, a lot of friends. My dog's here now. That's good. And okay, now we're off. And so it's not a bad place. If you're after something like with a lot of culture and a lot of history, and you want to move to China, you're probably better off going to Beijing or Shanghai or Guangzhou. Guangzhou's very near. Well, actually, that leads me into more about Shenzhen and Guangzhou. This is the Pearl River Delta here in South China. It's one of the most populated places, urban areas in the world. I believe this urban Pearl River Delta region with Foshan and Zhuhai and Guangzhou and Shenzhen and Hong Kong and all these cities that are down here. The population's over 100 million, I believe. I think it's like 150 million actually. So it's a very, very big urban area, very well developed. And it's nice, like I said, it's nice. But Guangzhou's another tier 1 city. And then of course Hong Kong's also very advanced, but that's not China per se, for now anyway. I really should have tied my shoe before I started. Okay. So yeah, like even my mom asked me, where's Shenzhen? What's Shenzhen? People that should know, I've been in China for 9 years, even though I've never really lived in Shenzhen before for any real length of time. But I studied geography. Give you a little background about me. University, I studied geography. And geography is not just like memorizing place names or maps or anything like that, like some people seem to think. But you do learn a lot about places. And so I've known about Shenzhen for a very, very long time. But that doesn't mean other people know about Shenzhen or China geography. There's an Xpeng, first one I've seen. So I understand, and a lot of people watching YouTube also probably don't know anything about Shenzhen or about China. So as you can see, Shenzhen is modern and clean and well developed. No, you could really live in a worse place than this. It's crazy to think that this whole city basically came from nothing over the past 30 years. It was just like farmland, no people. And now it's a huge, massive city with over 10 million people and just development everywhere, ongoing, never stopping, never ceasing. Seems like there's a new shopping mall, new restaurant, new skyscraper every 2 weeks, every day. I don't know. Time kind of blurs together, but you know what I mean? There's always something going up, always something new. Although most of the things are exactly the same. They're all shopping malls. They're all skyscrapers. You can't really build a new temple. There's a NIO, okay. So we got one NIO so far, and we got 2 Lees, and we got 1 Xpeng. Oh shit, I just fell in a hole that I've seen so far. Anyway, so what else does Shenzhen have? Shenzhen's famous for its Cantonese food. I would venture a guess that most Americans anyway know about Cantonese food, because that's probably the most famous kind of food we get for Chinese style in America. If you've had dim sum before, you've had Cantonese food. And it's good. It's not my favorite, but it's good. We also, probably most Americans know about Sichuan food or Hunan food, spicy food. Lots of other good foods in China. My personal favorites are Dongbei food from the Northeast. If you're ever in China, try that. It's really good. You can get it in America too, but usually it's just like stuff that's on the menu in a Sichuan restaurant. They might have some other styles of food. It's really rare to see a Dongbei restaurant. And I also like Xinjiang food, although there are questions or arguments to be made about whether or not Xinjiang is Chinese food. I guess, not to get too political, but same as the whole Hong Kong discussion I briefly mentioned just earlier, is Xinjiang China? Yes, no, who knows? It is geopolitically, legally part of China. Are Xinjiang people Chinese? Ethnically, no. But you know, there's not a channel about that. So, moving on. Okay, let's get over this grass here. It's gonna take me a while to count all these EVs when I go and edit this video, or not edit, but review it and add them to the ticker. So obviously by far the most prevalent car EV brand is BYD, and that's just because of all the taxis. But you've probably also noticed, and I'm gonna assume by the time I look at this video later, you're also gonna notice that Tesla is ahead of the other EV brands. But if I was truly counting, like look, all these little white EVs right here, they're all, look, Didi, they have a logo on the car. They're all taxis. All right, let's keep going. What else to talk about as we stroll around? I wonder, I guess most of you don't watch a lot of Chinese video bloggers. There's a guy called Guilo60. He's an old Canadian guy, and he makes a walking video probably every day. He just walks around and he just talks to the camera, and he just talks about whatever, and he gets so many views. And I'm not like jealous or anything, like good for him, but I'm trying to figure out how he can just walk and talk about stuff every day. Like, how do you have that much to say about a new topic every day? I mean, I'm not gonna say it's like deep content or anything like that. It's not highly analytical or, you know, nothing super interesting about China. But he just talks and talks and talks, at least 10 minutes every day for a video. And people watch it. I'm guilty, I watch it too, sometimes. But mostly like as science, as an experiment to try to figure out what the heck is there to talk about when you're wandering around every single day. So, I don't know how he does it. I'm just gonna go up here and look down over the road, see what kind of cars we got, and probably turn around. It's already been about 20 minutes. I suppose at this point in this video, you guys are all more aware of that. While yes, there's a lot of EVs on the road, and NIO is a popular brand, and Xpeng is a popular brand, especially, for stock market purposes, online, overseas. Most of the cars on the road are not NIO. Most of the EVs especially are not NIO. They're not Xpeng. They're Tesla. There's 2 Teslas right now, just passed by. There's a Tesla over there. Most of the cars are going to be Tesla. And then you also got the Chinese brands that are cheap, like that one right there. There are a lot of Chinese EV car brands that you've never heard of and I've never heard of, that don't get the news, don't get the headlines, but they're here and they sell really well. But again, they're mostly like taxis or Ubers. They're not really private cars necessarily. All right, let's see if we can get anything. There's another Tesla. That looks like another, no. No, okay, never mind. All right, let's keep going. Let's swing around the block. So yeah, much respect to Guelo60 for being able to just pump out content every single day, just talking. I think maybe my mind is not as sharp as it used to be. I can't just talk. But he's in his 60s or something, and he's still doing it. So how do you guys keep your brain sharp if you're still watching at this point, 20 minutes into this video? How do you keep your brain sharp, not get lost in a fog? I know working out's supposed to help, right? To that end, I've been working out recently. I joined a gym here in Shenzhen, actually a Muay Thai boxing gym. So if anybody's done Muay Thai before, maybe leave a comment. Tell me what you think of it. Did it help you lose weight? That's my main goal, is just to lose weight. And also to get me out of the house, because I don't have a job. I don't have anything going on. But the main thing is lose weight. And so far it's working. I joined the gym for about a week. I lost 2 kilograms. More than a week because of the holiday. But the holiday they were closed for 5 days, so I think I've officially worked out 7 times, which would make it maybe a week and a half, because I go every day when they're not closed, because like I said, I got nothing to do. All right, more cars coming. Let's take a look. It is going to be a pain in the butt counting all these taxis, all these BYDs, all these others. There's a Volvo, I think, EV over there. It's Tesla. Anyway, keep going. Around the block and call it a day. So yeah, anybody, what do you guys do to work out? How do you lose weight? Besides eating right, going to the gym. Think Muay Thai is going to help me? I'm sure it'll help me, but I think bigger thing is I don't eat right. Like right now I just had curry, garlic, chicken. I guess it's kind of healthy, but I had a bunch of rice. I love rice. I've been in China too long. I eat rice like every day. And not the good healthy stuff, not purple rice or brown rice. I eat the white rice. Okay, here's another Tesla and many more BYD taxis. What are you guys' thoughts on Shenzhen? It's a nice looking city, right? It's safe. People walking around freely, doing whatever they want to do. Nice, peaceful city. You know, a lot of like the most hardcore kind of gangster guys I've met in China, not that there's very many to be honest, but the ones that I have met, they're either all from Guangdong or from Dongbei, from the northeast. But I never met like gangster guys from other parts of China. But for some reason, all the gangster guys in Guangdong, they're not here in Shenzhen. Maybe it's because it's a new city. Maybe they haven't had time to build up, or maybe they got squashed before they could get started because there's no history of them being here. Who knows? Maybe if you're a Chinese scholar, history scholar, you can tell me why. It seems like a very quiet, peaceful, not infiltrated by the mob city. Whereas other places in China, in Guangdong I've been to, like Guangzhou for example, which is full of history, are more, I'm not gonna say dangerous or anything like that, but they're just a little bit more grimy, a little bit more people with an edge to them. Maybe it's because Shenzhen's just a business city, finance city. I don't know. Hard to say. But at this point, that's just how it is, I believe. So, okay, buddy. I would love if anybody's watching it this far and can tell me why that is. I'm gonna guess it's the history thing, because the mafia takes time to develop. I would guess. They can't just move straight in here. Especially in a city as planned, pre-planned as Shenzhen. You know, I think it has to be kind of organic. Okay, I'm gonna go back the other way. Not enough traffic around here. And we're running low on light. So it's been about 30 minutes walk, and we've seen not very many of the hot EV brands. Hot on Reddit, NIO, Xpeng, Li. All we've seen are these, and we've seen Teslas for the most part. So, very interesting. And at least you know I'm not lying to you now. Or at least I hope you know now that I'm not lying to you when I say that Tesla dominates. When I say that, I usually would say five NIO for every 2 or 3 Xpeng and every 1 Li, but that didn't play out this time. Maybe I'll go do this again if people want to see. I can do another walk and just look at EV cars if people enjoy this. As I walk back to my scooter, my e-bike, walk back the way I came on different, smaller road. I'm gonna start saying goodbye right now because I don't know when I'm gonna end this video, but goodbye. Thank you for watching. Thank you as always for watching. I'm going to make videos, more content. It's not about EVs, and while I hope you guys watch it, I'm gonna assume you won't, but I would hope you do, because I'm looking forward to showing you what people actually do in Shenzhen, and what people actually do in China, what life is like here, because it's actually pretty good. A lot of people fail to realize that online. They think China is like some dystopian hellhole for some reason. I mean, don't get me wrong, China's got its problems, it's got its fair share. So here's a little taxi, this girl's getting in the taxi right now. So yeah, China's got its fair share, but that's more, I'm not gonna say exactly. The people are good, the people here are nice, the people are peaceful, people are friendly, the people are kind, they're helpful. Let's cross the road here, look at, we got all these internal combustion cars, and we got a Tesla. Way more Teslas than anything else. But so yeah, the people are kind, people are friendly, it's a nice place to live, it's a nice place to work. It's just a good country. You see all these people walking around without a care in the world. Well, appears to not have a care in the world. I'm sure they're worried about their finances or their family or whatever else people care about, because people are people everywhere you go. But I can tell you they're not worried about getting robbed. They're not worried about getting shot. They're not worried about getting stabbed. They're not worried about somebody snatching their phone or their purse. And there are both some good and bad reasons for that. Maybe we'll talk about it another day. But I just missed this car. This is a Xpeng, and there's a NIO over there, so now we're getting some. So we'll probably talk about that another day, maybe. Who knows? If people want to talk about things, if I have the desire to talk about things, I'll do it. So there's a NIO. There's an Xpeng. We'll see. One of those reasons is cameras. Cameras everywhere. Face tracking, all that stuff. Everything's tracked. Your phone is tracked on WeChat. I mean, there's a lot to talk about why people are safe here in China. Most people. Put a little caveat there. But you don't have to worry about things, because look, there's 4 cameras right there. And there's probably a camera over there, yep. And 3 more cameras over there. Surveillance state. But it is what it is. People have their freedom to do whatever they want without fear of attack or danger. There's another NIO. Now we're getting somewhere. 3 NIOs, 3 Xpengs, I believe. We'll count it later, but it should be around that much. And 2 Lees. Now we're getting more towards a ratio of what I usually see. So here we go. What else is there to talk about, guys? Anyway, I do recommend, if you haven't been to China, you do at least come make a visit. I wouldn't recommend you come visit Shenzhen when you're traveling to China, because this is a city with nothing going on. You can go to Starbucks and H&M in every other city in the world. But it is a good country to visit, a good country to live and work in. The wages are good. Tesla, BYD. The wages are good. It's safe. You gotta watch out for some scoundrels, but same as everywhere else. Tesla, nice color. I think ultimately the most important takeaway from spending time in China and getting to know Chinese people is that Chinese people are just like you and just like me and just like everybody else you know. 99% are good people. They're kind. They want to help out. They want what's best for themselves. And you get a few bad people here and there. But you know what? Look at this. It's a safe, secure, modern, beautiful country. And I know it's not all like this. I've been to almost every province in China. I've been everywhere except for Tibet, Hainan, Heilongjiang, Macau. I guess 4 provinces, or 3 provinces in a special autonomous region. But I've been everywhere, and people everywhere have been very good to me. BYD. So I do recommend that you put your prejudices aside, because there's so much hate on the internet for China, and I get it. Like, I believe me, I get it. I would love to say a lot more, but I need to be safe. I would love to say many things that I can't say. And that's not a great thing. But for the most part, the pros outweigh the cons. I'm sure that's the same for every country, everywhere on earth. For the most part, the pros of living in that place will outweigh the cons. As long as you're not in a war zone, there's going to be good food to eat and good people around you. And that's just how it is. Okay, I'm seeing some EVs up here. That one should be at Xpeng, right? The red one. And then we got a NIO on the left. So it looks like we're tied. Yeah, that's an Xpeng G3. And there's a blue NIO right there. So I might be wrong on my count because I got to go back and check the tape. But I do believe it's 4-4 on those two popular tickers, popular brands. All right, let's go see if we can find anything else. And then I'm gonna say goodbye and good night and good luck. Go check the road. Nice Porsche. Okay, he's waiting. Two nice Porsches. So what's everybody's thoughts on Shenzhen, at least this part of Shenzhen? Nice place? If you've been here, you tell me what you think of it. Also maybe tell me where I should go because, you know, I spent a lot of time here and it seems like every single part of Shenzhen is the same. Except for maybe Longgan. Longgan's a district very, very far from here in Nanshan where I live. It's kind of like the farthest district away from here. And it's got an old school Cantonese feeling to it. All right, I'm gonna walk up to this red light and then I'm gonna say goodbye. So it's a 40-minute video nearly, and it's probably enough to see what EVs are out here. So again, thanks for watching. I appreciate you all for supporting my channel, and make sure if you think this was a very useful video for you in your investing purposes or understanding of China or China EVs, then make sure you give me a thumbs up and again subscribe, leave a comment. Ooh, fancy over there. And I'm gonna try to be like Guelo and make a 10-minute video every day. Probably not, because I don't want this to be my job. There's another NIO for us before we go. Another BYD. Smart car or something. All right, let's go to the red light and then say goodbye. Oh, also these buses are all BYD. I should probably count those as well. BYD dominates the public vehicle, electric vehicle space. All right, one last thing before I go. One last thing. Shenzhen is not representative of every city in China. Shenzhen is now the most expensive city in China. I do even believe it has surpassed Hong Kong as the most expensive city to live in. So please don't skip my ads. But it also explains why there's so many nice cars around here. You've seen probably Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Porsches everywhere, Mercedes, Audis, Teslas. This is an expensive place to live. People here have money. If you go to a tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 88 city, you are not going to see these cars. You'll see some, but not this kind of, what's the word? My English sucks now that I lived in China so long. What's the word? Like ratio, I guess. For example, when I lived in Sichuan, I never saw a NIO. I never saw an Xpeng. I never saw what's the other one? Lixiang, that's right. When I lived in Sichuan, I did see BYDs and other EVs. I did see other nice cars, quite a few Audis, but definitely not quite the same. The ratio is not the same. And even the nice cars aren't as nice as the ones here. That should be a Li? No? Yeah, that's a Li, right? Yeah, that's a Li. No. Lincoln Company. Oh, Lincoln Company, sorry. The Tesla. There's a NIO, another NIO. That's a nice looking color. I like that one. BYD Han. So anyway, the point I was making about Shenzhen is that this city is not representative of other cities in China. And if you're making investment decisions based on what you see here, based on all these fancy cars you see, well, you definitely shouldn't be doing that. Because there's only 4 tier 1 cities in China. There's only another 20 or 30 tier 1.5 to tier 2 cities. And those aren't even anywhere near as impressive as Shenzhen or Shanghai or Beijing or Guangzhou in terms of money, although there are a lot of rich people. So just remember, this is just informal little experiment walking around, and that's all it is. And I guess that's it. So again, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. I don't think that's possible. There's only one size. And make sure you subscribe, and make sure you comment if you thought this was useful or you want to learn something else. Give me a suggestion. I'll teach you about China if I can. If I can't, I'll pass you off to another channel that does have the ability to, because there's lots of good content about China on YouTube. And so that's it. Turn this around and say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Take care. Have a good night. Ooh, okay. Bye-bye.